Hello, everyone. It's Fred again from Notes of a Nomad, video number 186. Today, I want to talk about a book that I've referred to, about 11 years ago when I was on the overland truck in 2012 from Cape Town to Cairo for 4 months, and there was about 18 of us. And a couple of people mentioned this book, Your Money or Your Life. It was written in 1992 by Joe Dominicus and Vicky Robin. And Joe Dominicus was a successful financial analyst on Wall Street, and he retired at the age of 31, never having to work again for any money for any of his work. And the two people that referred it to me on the truck, I'll introduce you to. I'll share my screen because I have referred to them in previous videos. But Your Money or Your Life was the book, transforming your relationship with money and achieving financial independence. There's lots of books about this, but I think this one has a different approach. According to Jereb, this is Jereb, who you may recall I met in South Korea earlier this year on my way back from Nepal. And the other person who said, yeah, that was a good book, I read it, was Sherry. Now, I met Sherry. She was also on the truck, obviously, but I met her last year in California. When I was visiting my daughter there, Sherry came. So those were the two people that referred the book. And I was, why am I doing it now? Well, I'm trying to clean up. I still have not a lot of stuff, but I'm trying to downsize. And I found the notebook, mentioned this book, and I thought I'd check it out. And I discovered some very interesting concepts, which I've seen Jereb in particular use. We even chatted about some of these things when I met him in South Korea earlier this year. Now, some of the points in the book are money is something we choose to trade our life energy and our time for. So that's how we often make money. We trade our time and life energy for it. But there is nothing in your life that is more valuable than your time. And in fact, studies show that focusing on money and position and success at the expense of our own fulfillment leads to a lot of people. There was a sample done of several hundred people, and 60% of them suffered from depression, anxiety, and other job-related disorders, including stress. So, just chasing money isn't always the best. And in fact, recently I was listening to a podcast talking about high-stake gamblers, where they would set up these big, well, not big, but the stakes were big. They had these high-stake rollers, want to gamble hundreds of thousands of dollars with what they would bet, and playing poker. And sometimes millions of dollars would exchange hands. But the person who was talking about having organized these, there was a lot of dysfunctional people involved. So money again. So we're spending so much of our precious time earning in order to just spend and gamble or whatever we do. And then we don't have time to examine our life priorities. So the book says your relationship with money is reflected also in your sense of satisfaction and fulfillment that you can get from connection to your family, your community, and the world. And of course, keeping track of every cent that goes into and out of your life, that's nothing new. That's something that I've been practicing for years. And also, before you spend money, there was a checklist in there, and some of the things resonate with me. Just don't go shopping. I mean, shopping's not a fun activity. Just make a list and go once a week, or maybe once in a while, but not just, oh, today I feel like going shopping. That's not a activity. That's just, spending money. And you just get lots of things. And I'm trying to still downsize, even though I don't have many things. And, often you can get it for less if you shop around, buy used. I just got a travel bag that was like $170 on Amazon. I got it for $70 secondhand, and it's like new. So that's wonderful. And sometimes you can borrow something. You only need it for a short period of time. And if it's appropriate, you can borrow it. And so I think it mentioned a book as well, the ancient Chinese book of wisdom. I think it's called Tao Te Ching. And it put it this way: he who knows he has enough is rich. And that, I think, is a big part. Do we have enough? Yeah, many of us have more than enough. So our fulfillment of human beings is not only in our jobs, but it's the whole picture of our lives. It's what's our life is all about, how are we connected with others, how our yearning for meaning and purpose. So there's nothing in your life that is more valuable than your time. So Your Money or Your Life is a very thought-provoking book. And both Jared and Sherry mentioned it was a good book. And I know it really has impacted Jared because he was able to travel for years. And he was only 30 when I met him, 11 years ago. So he's a great example of how someone who's applied this book has really has a lot of wisdom for a relatively young man. And he said this book had a big impact on him. So I thought I'd mention it because I think that's very true. Sometimes we don't even think of what we're spending our time on, making money, and that's maybe not the best things in life. There are other things. So I really thought that I should talk about this book because Jared and Sherry mentioned it, and it did resonate with me when I researched what the book was really about. Even though it was 11 years ago, it was referred to me. So with that, I'll say adios, au revoir, wishing you, your family, and friends lots of love and laughter. Until next time, from Fred and Notes of a Nomad.